Hey, welcome to my Travel Ones podcast, and today I'm looking at Josiah Smith. How are you today, Josiah?
Oh, man, I'm doing pretty good. Pretty good. Can't complain.
Well,
Beautiful day in California.
Josiah's working as an actor, a dad, a husband, and I don't know, an influencer, I guess, a TikTok influencer now. How did that get started?
Well, it's funny. I kind of started a while back as far as just like creating content back when Vine was around. Me and a buddy used to make Vine videos, and then as Instagram started to kind of grow, we're like, oh wow, we got up to a minute now. This is great because we went from 6 seconds to trying to tell a story in 6 seconds on Vine to to Instagram giving you 15 seconds. I think initially it was 15 seconds, and then just as the platforms have come around, just trying to keep up with everything, and I've got some friends, some good friends on TikTok that I know here in Los Angeles. One of those, her name is Drea Knows Best. She's pretty popular on TikTok. I think she's around like 5 million followers or so, and she just was coming out and telling me like, dude, you gotta get on TikTok. One of the things that was frustrating me with some of the other platforms is just when you work so hard on your content and you only get like 500 views or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just like, man, over time I felt like, is this even worth it? Like, should I continue to do this? And when I finally took her advice and joined TikTok, it was like slow initially, but then, I had my first video. This was like the end of last year, 2019, like around, I think November or so, but I had my first video, put it out there, and it hit like 300,000 views. I'm like, okay, I've never got here with with Instagram before, right? So I'm like, okay, this is cool. So I started to notice after that just things picking up, but it took me a little while to like figure out things as far as like what type of content that the people enjoy, what they liked, and just who my audience was, and so just kind of exploring through different types of videos that I put out there, I finally kind of figured out what the people like to see from me, and then just I think coming into 2020 and just obviously the whole COVID, the pandemic, we were all stuck in the house trying to figure out what to do to like not lose our minds. And I honestly, I think TikTok saved 2020. I personally, I feel that way. I feel like TikTok just gave so many people just something to do that was fun, and that just was something to look forward to doing. And around March of 2020, I did a video, a news crash. So my wife is she's a television personality. She's currently she works for CBS Los Angeles, and with the pandemic and everything that was going on, CBS started sending the camera crews to our home, to start filming, the news right from our home. And this was a perfect opportunity for me to have some fun. So I crashed one of her news sets because they were set up out back, and after that video ended up doing about 25 million views.
That's crazy.
And it was featured in Complex and World Star, and CBS loved it. They aired it on the news, and then just a bunch of other platforms ended up sharing it, as well. BuzzFeed News, and that I think was the turning point that really opened up the door for the what you see now, and just kind of really growing the following to where we're at right now.
Do you think?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Do you think? Because it seems like your comedy and your skits is like perfectly geared for TikTok. I mean, it honestly sounds. Yeah. It looks like it's a lot of work, more than probably what we see. But
Hmm.
I couldn't see. I mean, I'm trying to think back. Like, I couldn't see that being as successful on an Instagram or even a Facebook or any other platform.
Hmm.
It's kind of weird how you hit that niche just right.
Yeah, definitely. I honestly, I think the reason I love TikTok so much is because there's a different type of, like, I think Instagram kind of caters towards already popular influencers that came from Vine, that came from, some of those
Sure.
those other platforms, as well as, people that have a lot of money and that can do certain, maybe sponsored ads, or, like, I don't know. I just feel like they kind of cater towards a certain crowd. And, I think with TikTok, I found that the TikTok community it's a different type of community. It's a community that says, you know what, it's okay to like this video or to follow this person that I enjoy watching their video. Like, they don't have to be a certain, huge influencer already for me to be able to like this and for me to be able to feel comfortable following them. I think on some of the other platforms, they're counting their follower count, how many people they're following,
Sure.
and they try to keep that low. And it's just, I don't know, it's really interesting. But I think on TikTok, I think people are just free to do what is right and what they enjoy, and there's no other, like, consequences for that. So I think, I think the TikTok community is one of the most like, generous, just fun, and just greatest communities, like, on a platform, in my opinion. I'm giving them,
Oh no, you're all over.
as much love as I feel like they're giving me.
Well, the thing I'm finding out about TikTok as I just get started into it, I guess, is the algorithms are completely different than Instagram or Facebook even. It seems like, because from what I was told, the algorithm for TikTok is basically, if you make good content, we're gonna let people see it, and that's the end of the story. Whereas,
Yeah.
in Instagram, I guess it's, how many likes do you have? How many people are commenting on it? And I guess that plays into a little bit, but not as big of an effect on TikTok. That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
So that's good. I mean, that's good for people that create good content. I got to see your stuff because it came up in my feed. It wasn't because of anything specific. I don't know. Just, it seems a little more freeing, more open.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it's like they're giving a chance to everyone to. I think once you make a video, I think it kind of hits the For You page in a lot of situations, and then as people see it and they're responding to it, then it stays in there. So I think if you post to Instagram, where they don't even put it in a place where people can see it unless it already has a bunch of hits and comments and all that stuff. But on TikTok, it's kind of like, it may stay on that main feed for, just a little bit if no one's liking it or commenting, but it'll stay on there longer and, like, really take off if people see it and you start to get those things. So I feel like everyone has a chance on TikTok to go viral. If obviously you do got to make good content. Sometimes it's the shock value, and sometimes it's just making great content and just being, good at what you do, whatever your niche is.
Do you think your success on TikTok will help or hinder you getting acting gigs if we ever open up again?
Right. I think it'll help. Like, I think at the end of the day, numbers don't lie. So I think, like I said, that first one that really took off back in March, that did 25 million. I had another one where it was like a Zoom meeting gone wrong. That one's done about 10 million. Multiple celebrities shared that one. That one was just featured on Dr. Oz. about 2 weeks ago. A couple other ones, that have gone viral and done millions. It's totally, it's put me in a position where it's like, I never through Instagram, initially had, just some of the platforms that I've had a chance to be on. Like Instagram didn't open up any of those doors for me. And then I've been, so I was offered a leading role in a film based off of just the numbers that I do on TikTok. I've got another film I can't go into the details with, but it's an animation film. But the news crash video, my voice that I was kind of doing as I was crashing that, there's the director of this animated film who works with a really huge, like legendary rap artist, is the one who's making this animated film, and basically I have a role on the film. Like he booked me for one of the roles in the film based off of the voice that I was doing in one of my TikTok videos, and so it's already opened up the door for 2 different films, which that's never happened through Instagram or Facebook or one of those other platforms. So it's totally opening up doors for that.
It's kind of weird how it's the small world we're getting. It's like my podcast I've been listening to in 96 different countries, and I'm like, I can't even imagine that.
Nice. That's awesome.
Just like you getting 25 million views on a short movie. I mean, that's just
right.
It's a weird world we're living in. It's kind of cool. You create the content, and people will come. How do you think?
Totally.
Now you're a husband, and you have 2 small children or smaller children.
Mm-hmm.
They're not infants anymore, but with the acting gig, if you have to go on off, and your wife works, so how are you going to be able to balance that if you do end up going on an acting job that it's on location in Seattle or Vancouver where they're doing a lot of stuff for 2 weeks? Is that going to be rough? Is that something you guys talk about now, saying, hey, if this breaks, this might happen?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. We so very well together, me and my wife. We're hashtag Team Smith. That's kind of like, a lot of things that we do is Team Smith. We teach our kids on Team Smith, we do this or we don't do that. We don't tell lies on Team Smith. But we're a really good team. And for one, we have a live-in nanny. So she totally helps as far as just just the balance between how busy I can be, how busy my wife can be, and obviously, help, keeping an eye on the kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, for projects like that, because of, we go to a church that's like an international church, and we have churches like all around the world. So, it's one of those things where a lot of times when we travel, there's a sister church like in that place that we go to. Not always, but a lot of times there is, and it just kind of works where my wife is comfortable, knowing that I'm good. I've got people around, and vice versa. If she has to travel, she recently was in Seattle for project something she had out there, and I knew that she had the love, the support, and community from our church out there in Seattle, and it worked out. I felt good about it, and anytime I have to go to New York or go to some other place, I usually have resources and people that's around. So
that's nice.
So we feel good on that part, and then the kids, we always kind of work it out. We've got a lot of aunties, and they're always willing to help us out or even travel with us when we're going somewhere. That's kind of the next move. We're looking to go to Jamaica for a little bit, and we're going to bring one of the aunties with us so that we'll have our room. We'll have a room for them right next door, and anytime we want to see the kids, we can just go next door. But we also can have the privacy of just being able to get away ourselves. So it's always worked out.
I was going to, because I think it's really key that you have a game plan for that. I think a lot of parents are just, hey, I'm going to work today, and you're going to work today, and I'll pick up the kids. You do this without a game plan, without any kind of structure, and I think that's where a lot of families kind of fall apart.
Totally, and
especially with travelers. Totally. If you're traveling, and your wife's working full time and working, now she's probably working more out of the house, but she'll be on the road again. And it's as the kids get older, and you'll see. I mean, my daughters are older. My girls are 25 and 26. So
nice.
I'm past the stage that you're at.
Yeah. It's funny because we kind of we try to work around each other's schedule. So like if like I said, if I need to go to New York, for 4 or 5 days, then she'll try to move her creative projects around to where before I come back, or knocking them out before I leave, or if she has to do something during that time, making sure we have a person who's there to kind of cover that. But for the most part, we try to work around each other's schedules, and it's been good. Like I said today, it's been kind of like back to back things that's going on. I'm doing, we did this photo shoot for Christmas photo shoot for Home and Family for a project that she's working on, and we coordinated it so that we would be done so that I could jump on this podcast here with you, and then after this she's got an interview, a CBS interview that she's on, and so we really work around each other's schedule.
Are you finding yourself with your new TikTok fame, I guess? Do you have to schedule in the skits now? You know what I mean? Like before, you probably let's do this. It'd be fun.
Yeah.
Or are you now scheduling that?
Oh, absolutely. I just initially it was just like whatever, whenever. But now I totally have to schedule it in. I've got to really coordinate it right, especially if I'm featuring someone else in the video, because there's just a lot more things to consider now. I've got, brand deals that I'm doing, and I've got deadlines for, for getting those done. So like I've really got to make sure that, I'm strategic in how I'm planning everything out, and timing and everything. I just got to really go after that, because my goal, like I've got to put out new content every single day. I believe we set the tone for how we want our page to be. If you make videos once a week, you're telling people, I only want you to come to my page once a week and see what I got going on. But if you make videos, every single day, you're telling people, come back every single day and, see what we've got going on. So in order to execute that, a lot of influencers, content creators will, do blocks where they take like a 6-hour block and just bang out a bunch of videos. But I think in order to really keep things fresh and, just current, you've got to be able to have some flexibility and being able to shoot something, as often as you need to. So my schedule is set up to where every day I have certain times where I'm working and creating something, but you gotta move it around.
Are you gonna take the sheriff's outfit to Jamaica?
That's a great question. It's so funny. We recently we went to Newport Beach. We went over there for a little staycation for several days, and as we were packing and we were getting everything together, my wife noticed that the sheriff's hat was in the back And she's like, "No, not the sheriff. Is the sheriff coming?" And I'm like, "The sheriff is coming. I've got to, like, you know, like
Yeah.
I get paid for every single video that I do now. I'm part of the, you know, the TikTok creator program. And like, I've got to remind her every now and then that these videos that we make, like, you know, that awesome little breakfast that we had, like, this paid for it. You know? So, you know, I just got to remind her, and she gets behind it. But yeah, she thought we were taking a break from the sheriff, and I said, no, the sheriff's coming with us. Never know when he might need to just come out. Yeah.
Does the creator thing kick in at 100,000 followers, or how does that work? I don't know.
Yeah, I believe it was 100,000. Yeah. I think it was 100,000 followers and some other qualifications as well. But
yeah, okay.
But yeah, I was super, super grateful for that. Yeah, that's just kind of come in the clutch, and it's just been motivation as well, because you never know when you're gonna do something. I did a video about maybe 3.5 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, with an actress, and this was just kind of like I wasn't even really focused on like trying to make the video great or anything. Yeah. I just wanted to, you know, have some content for that day, and I didn't have anything lined up. So she was coming over, you know, just to say hi to the family. And I'm like, hey, let's just go out really quick. I got this idea. Let's do it. And we went out, we did it, threw it up. You know, the video just hit 4 million views yesterday. And the video, it brought in, you know, several $100s. So yeah, I you never know when a video is going to be that video that takes off. Like sometimes I'll think with certain videos that like, oh, this one is for sure going to go viral. This is the one right here, and it only got 20,000 views or something. You know,
that's the one thing. I'm the same boat. I mean, I have episodes that have just freaked me out, and I look at my stats, and all of a sudden I'm like, what happened? And then I have my YouTube page. And all of a sudden, I have one of the comedians I interviewed like 2 years ago. One of my first guys is over 5,000 views on YouTube, and I'm like, I have no idea why. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah,
and it's got to be the same way. Nice. Like, you know, I see it. You know, you have a couple million views on one, and then 10,000 on the next. It's got to be weird that way.
Yes. Interesting. You never know which one's going to take off, and sometimes even just leaving them up. There's been certain ones where I had to leave up, and like it's for me, if a video doesn't hit 5,000 views as a minimum, then I'm going to end up taking it down unless something about that video is a reason to keep it up. And I've had, you know, there was the one that was recently featured on Dr. Oz. It was so interesting because I believed in this video. I thought this was like this one was going to take off, and I posted it, and it started off on fire. Like within like an hour, it had 10,000 views, and then by the end of the night, or when I woke up in the morning, it was at like 30,000 views, and I'm like, all right, this one's going all the way to 1 million, and then it got to like 35,000 views, and then it just stopped cold. And I'm like, wow, that's weird. And ended up topping out at like 38,000 views. But it was so weird how it started off so hot, and then it just like stopped. So I said, okay, you know, so I let about a month go by. And after about a month, I said, you know what, I'm going to repost this because I really believe this video could do more than what it did. So I reposted. Video does 10 million. And, you know, you know, Dr. Oz, like I said, just played it on his show. It was featured on the cover of a newspaper. It was like, it's been all over the place. a huge actress with like 30-something million followers shared it. Mia Khalifa added it to her like favorite videos, and it just it's crazy just how it works. But I think it starts from believing in your content, knowing what the potential is, for what you're putting out there, and
Sure.
reposting it when you need to, and then just learning your audience. And I think for me, people love, obviously the comedy. They love sometimes some of the prank videos that we do, the inspirational videos that I do, and then even because I'm a man of a lot of faith. Yeah. I part of an arts, media, and sports ministry out here in Los Angeles, and that's gonna come out in my videos as well. And there's a huge just following and group of people that have just responded to some of that as well. We have like a industry Bible talk event that we do every Thursday out here, and we used to do it in person before the whole COVID thing. So in any given week, celebrities will come, actors, singers, like different people will come to our home and join us for our industry Bible talk group. And so that's another thing that I've gotten some really great just responses for people. And so it's
I was gonna say,
it really is a science here.
Well, I was going to say, I wondered how much, because you create clean content.
Yeah.
And that's, probably going back to your faith a little bit at least. But you're creating clean content, so like I can watch it and I'm not worried about people around me seeing some girl shake her booty or do whatever. Whereas you're just like clean, good, funny content. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, and I appreciate you just recognizing that, because it is it's interesting. Like you can, like if I didn't have these convictions about my content and what I believe in and what I'm going to do and what I'm not going to do, like I could easily have millions of followers right now if I was to kind of play do that same thing. I know a lot of these, bigger influencers. Like I worked with them. Like the business I used to do, I used to be in branding, and we would create the websites and the merchandise for a lot of these influencers and different celebrities and stuff. So I know a lot of them. And then even with, I started a film festival up, 4 years ago. Every year I have, a whole panel of different like celebrity guests, and I'll usually grab like one or two like big influencers. So we've had, Juwan Jones, Carrie Boy, like just a number of people that have come and have, been celebrity judges through the festival. So I know a lot of these guys, and I know a lot of even the females as well. So I could easily have, certain people or do certain things, like you said, shaking their booties and all this, the things that get, a lot of views.
Yeah.
But that's it's much tougher, to be clean and to, be someone that, or we don't curse, we don't, have all the half naked people in the videos, but we can still make good content.
Yep.
So I've
heard
I'd love to be a voice, for that, like a bigger voice to show that you can be successful as an influencer and as a content creator without having all that in there.
I think it was Jerry Seinfeld, but it was a really well-known comedian, and he was being asked about, when the lockdown opens up, and they go back, and they said, how much are you going to make about Trump and the election and all that? And he goes, none. He goes, that's too easy.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I want my humor to be timeless. So I'll make some references to certain things, but he goes, the easy stuff I don't want. I was like, wow, okay. And it's kind of like you. I mean, the easy way to become famous social media-wise is TNA and shaking and all that stuff. But like you said,
Yeah.
if you don't use it and don't use the bad language and still be funny, well, then you're golden.
Yeah.
How
something going there.
how upset would Kristin be if the sheriff became a sitcom? And then
I think honestly she would. I think she would be happy. You know, as long as I turn him off when I come back home.
Exactly.
I think she would be happy. But I honestly, that's something that my dream, as an actor, because I moved to Los Angeles almost 10 years ago, and I came out here. I, did the struggling artist thing for, the first maybe 8-9 months while I was here, and just ate noodles and burritos every single day. And, but then, I think like I said, my convictions and just always trying to put God first in my life and the decisions that I make, like, I feel like God took care of me, and, I ended up getting an agent, got SAG-AFTRA. And I've gotten a chance to do some great things. I actually got my SAG card on The Amazing Spider-Man, playing one of the SWAT guys in the movie. And it opened up other doors. I've had a chance to, work for weeks on CSI Miami when I was out here, and other projects. And yeah, so I feel like there's always been a thing on my heart for wanting to get a show going, and my ideal role for a show would be a police officer, where it would be kind of like maybe like a Brooklyn Nine-Nine kind of a thing, where there's like comedy, action, but yeah, I was just talking with someone earlier. A producer reached out to me and wants to ask me could he produce one of the upcoming Bad Sheriff videos that I do. So I was like, well, so what if we create like maybe like a short film, like a 15-minute short film, a day in the life of Bad Sheriff. So you kind of drive along with him, and you see, him lose his temper, which everyone loves. He loses his temper. You see him breaking the law himself, kind of, stealing from the store or certain things that he does. But then you see his heart. Like, he wants to uphold the law, he just has a problem breaking it as well. So I think it would be a really interesting,
I totally agree.
Interesting piece.
I definitely think. What's interesting, and have you ever seen the Hot Ones show, where the guy eats buffalo wings in the interviews? One of the times he got interviewed, they said, "Hey, have you ever thought about taking this over to channel or real television?" He goes, "I thought about it, but no." He goes, "I'm making enough money doing it the way I'm doing it," which is at the time it was a YouTube only show, and that platform 10 years ago didn't exist. I mean, if you wanted to be on TV, you had to work hard and do this and that, but I mean, you couldn't make your own show and just hope enough people would see it to make it. And now you're doing that. It kind of shows how the world's changed.
Totally. Totally. And it goes back to. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, bud.
No, I was going to say it goes back to what I was saying earlier, as far as like numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
We're in a time now where these numbers will open up the door for you. I was just looking at like King Batch and how he's been doing it since Vine, and he's every new platform he joins, and he builds his thing up. But when you look on Netflix and you look on Hulu and some of these things, like, I'm just seeing more and more movies that he's in, and he's just really kind of paved the way for, I think, influencers to kind of transition into that, acting and making movies and stuff. And but the numbers showed what he was capable of doing. And I know people like Tyler Perry started getting influencers and bringing them into films. Just because he knows the numbers that they can bring, and other people as well. But yeah, I think that's why your earlier question, as far as just through TikTok, can it can it open up the doors and help, kind of transition into, films? And absolutely. And I do, I think right now, one of my projects right now is just, is adding everything that I have onto YouTube, and just getting it out there so that we have a wider, opportunity at just, getting the content out there. And I think, I'm really thinking about, Bad Sheriff, just kind of turning that into, a series that we film. I think there's a lot of potential there.
Yeah, I think that.
So
it's so cool, though.
Yeah,
that would be amazing. I wonder if. Do you know of any other creators that have gotten their own show out of TikTok yet?
Well,
I know there are podcasts that have been made into TV shows.
Yeah.
The true crime and that kind of thing.
There's. Oh, totally. I know that there's. So I know there's different influencers that's on TikTok that have their show, but I know they didn't start on TikTok. They have other platforms that they're on as well.
Okay.
Who's to fully get the credit for what led to the show? I don't know if it's YouTube or if it's more so Instagram or what did it for them. But I know that the ones that are, have kind of transitioned into shows, they're on all of the platforms. So I think that's where just kind of going after it. I started, just adding more of my TikTok videos to Instagram. I try to keep those updated.
Yeah.
And that's been growing. But I think, just getting everything up on YouTube as well. Facebook Watch. I've got to just continue to get that out there, because I think it's only a matter of time before just one of these characters or one of these things just really takes off and opens up the door, for that. So
I totally agree.
That would be great.
I think that would be so cool to have a show created out of TikTok skits. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
And why not you, right? I mean,
why not me, right?
Well, no, but seriously,
why not?
You're what, I think mid-30s, age bracket-wise?
Yeah.
If you went back to when you were in high school and in college age, I don't know if you went to college, so I for me at least, and I'm in my early 50s. You didn't think, man, hey, someday I'm gonna create my own show and I'm gonna be on TV. That just wasn't a thought to me or anybody I knew. And now I think my old next door neighbor was a makeup influencer. So he's never had a job ever since an adult age. So he literally does makeup tutorials on himself, and makeup companies send him money, and they send him free product, and they send him on trips. And the kid's 20, 21 years old, making six figures, and never never filled out a resume.
Wow. That's awesome.
So
I love that. I love that a lot about where we are and just the opportunities that are there because of social media. I think that's so it's so inspiring that you can just take your creative juices and just create and see the doors that open it up for it. I never thought I'd be making videos for Postmates and for these different brands that I'm working with.
Yeah.
Just because of my TikTok videos and the videos that I've been making. It's always been the dream that it would open up bigger doors. Like I said, back when we're doing Vines and 1,200 views was like, wow, 1,200 views, this is so great. So it's funny now that when I first started kind of going viral with some of the videos, we would, jump up and down and celebrate and, wow, we did it, million views, too many views. And it's so funny that now, like, I'll do 1 million and my wife will say, oh, yay. And just keep walking. And it's like, that's crazy that, things are just where they're at right now. And just how fast it's growing. And just all the opportunities this is kind of coming from it are pretty incredible, especially even like the products and stuff like that. I'm getting, hit up by different, all different types of companies, shoe companies, clothing companies, fitness companies, like all different types of companies just hit me up and, hey, we want to send you this, this product is, try it out. You can have this one. And like, wow.
That's the weird,
cool.
Yeah, that's the weird part for me still. I saw it a lot with my next door neighbor getting literally boxes of product every day. And and I'm like, and I don't know how much makeup costs. I was like, oh no, that's like $500-$600 worth of stuff. And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
And then I would just talk to him, and he'd be like, yeah, I'm not going to use that stuff though. And I'm like, oh my god, people just sent you $600 worth of, but that's what they're doing. It's kind of weird how that works. The influencers are out there.
Yeah. Totally.
Now you're a big dog. Are your kids still happy? Are your kids still happy with the skits or the little?
Yeah, they love it. It's so interesting. I've recently discovered that my daughter is an amazing actress.
She was funny in that one. The latest one.
Which one?
The one with the bad.
with the bad cop.
Yeah. The bad sheriff came in. You put your hand through the paper bag. That was awesome.
Yeah. So both of my kids love the videos. They can't even fight over it. No. He just did the last video. Let me do this one. And they're absolutely loving it. But yeah, my son, I have to like really coach him through the videos because he has so much energy and he's got a lot of emotion. So, he takes a lot more coaching, even though he's excited to do it, but he just takes a lot more coaching. But my daughter, man, she, so one of the videos I did recently, it was staged. It was the one, I don't know if you saw it, where I was pretending like I accidentally cut my finger off.
Yeah.
And so in that video, like I initially set it up. I had a hidden camera. I called them over, and I got their real reaction, and it was really good. But they were too far back, and you just couldn't see it that good. And I'm like, dang. Well, now they know I'm trying to prank them.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, hey, let's just, let's do it one more time. And you know what I'm doing. So pretend to be, and my daughter, she, in the video, you see her and she's like, Daddy, are you all right? And, but she totally was acting that whole thing. And even the little thing that she did, and I genuinely was like, oh my goodness, like this girl is so good.
She's
like she just turned 4 and she literally improv like her whole little thing there, and it was like so believable to the point where I'm like, oh, I'm okay, my finger's okay. But yeah, so no, they're loving it. They love to be in the videos, and but I it's funny because everything has two sides to it, and we were at the park, maybe 10 minutes away from my home, and we were at the park, and this kid came over, and he was like, hey, you're the guy from TikTok. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's fun. And he said, yeah, I noticed, Kingston, I noticed your son, and I was like, oh, like, it was kind of, so it was cool that, like, it was like, wow, they noticed us and came over, and he was a big fan of the videos and stuff. But the fact that, like, my son gets noticed, like, what if I'm not around and someone notices him? And, like, I'm very, very protective of them. But so that just kind of, was put on my radar that I've got to be careful what I put out there. I'm always having my wife really be careful of our, not showing our street signs or license plate and things like that. But yeah, you got to be careful out here too. So
that is weird though, isn't it? I mean, because I'm the same way. You have to be cognitively aware of if you're going to be a public persona of what you put out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you got 2 small children, so you really have to be aware. Well, hey, man, I appreciate the time. I don't want to eat up too much more of your time. What is the best way for my listeners to follow you and see what you have coming up?
Awesome. Yeah. So my is official Josiah Smith. That's on TikTok. That's on Instagram. And those are the 2 main platforms that I'm pushing. We're definitely gonna, get the YouTube going again. But yeah, official Josiah Smith, all one word. You find me, follow us on TikTok, follow us on Instagram, and we're dedicated to putting out content that you can enjoy.
And you're doing a great job, man. I really appreciate it. It's been inspiring to me because I haven't done anything with TikTok. And so I was on there, and I'm trying to watch people. And I had a friend tell me, watch content that you enjoy and see, and then figure out why you enjoy it, and then I'm like, all right. So that's what I've been doing. So I got stuck.
Nice.
I got stuck on your page, so I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. I appreciate the support, and I'm grateful to be able to join you here on your show. This is great.
Appreciate it, Josiah, and take care of yourself.
Awesome.
All right, buddy. Have a good night, and again, thanks for your time.
Absolutely. You too.
All right. Thanks,
Appreciate
Josiah. Okay.